Let's dance under the serious now we moonlight. Let's dance and dare the E.T. funk. Let's dance and don't fear the voodoo cops. Let's dance and share the E.T. funk. Oh, watches of lovers. Let's dance and have fun, my love. I know that you exist to be born to be alive. Let's dance on the UMMO planet. Move on into your UMMO. Put on your EV suit and dance the E.T. funk. E.T.
Hi there, I'm Denis Roger DENOCLA. I'm glad to share with you this lecture. You have seen a small video clip, maybe it's something mysterious for you. However, we will have an overview on the UMMO file and this video clip will make sense. So remember this video clip. We will see all that together. We'll discover the UMMO world and many other big discoveries. A few words about me. I'm an independent researcher. I'm graduated from the University of Technology of Compiègne in Information Technology Management. I'm also graduated from the University of Caen in Business Geostrategic. I'm the author of research books, educational DVDs, and music on the topic of exocivilization. So let's go for the new discovery for 10 years of research. 10 major results for 10 years of research. We will see the identity and origin of the crop circle makers, 18 ET species described in detail, and the fascinating world of UMMO. A new cosmological model that explains dark matter and many things else. The UFO's mode of travel explained. The UMMO documents on the evidence of the ET presence on Earth. The extraterrestrial language of UMMO decoded by myself. The three-third theory model to understand paranormal phenomena, how telepathy works, what ghosts and poltergeists are, explanations for spirit communication. Let's see together the identity and origin of the crop circle makers. Let us go. In 2007, I studied the Crabwood Farm Formation and the Shackleton Formation. The first result I get is that the Shackleton Formation is linked to all the crop circles since the 90s, and we will see more about that.
Of the Arecibo radio telescope with its dimensions. Let's look at that for a moment. Here is the Arecibo telescope, and in response to that we have this pattern. Previously, we had the same, but not exactly the same background as the usual pattern of all crop circles. When they All crop circles have had a similar design layout of all crop circles. It's actually a fractal interferometer, which we've set up in South America. So this fractal interferometer received the Arecibo message to within about 800 meters. I'm not sure of the exact measurement. What's interesting to notice is that this Chilbolton crop rectangle is connected to all the others because of this pattern shown on the screen.
The second result is that we can conclude that the crabwood formation presents the formation phase of the crop circle makers.
So we have this person who has a large head, macrocephalic, which is 30% larger in size than our own heads, and the being is about 3 meters tall. And he's pretty thin and has a much larger head than body. Let me direct your attention to this pattern on the crop circle and these 4 points with lines going through them. If we look at them as planets and not UFOs, their significance takes on an entirely new meaning. On the inner side of the first planet, there are 2 planets, which are almost aligned, and one that has a bit outside. It is important to see how they are laid out. Now, going back to the message of Arecibo, a very innocent one, we have crop circle in Chilbolton, which directly addresses the Arecibo message. I don't think this is by chance. There are 2 separate crop circles, or squares in this case, or rectangles. This is a response to the Arecibo message, exactly the same pattern, plus a few modifications, and turned upside down. I'll take the bottom parts and show you how it works. In 1974, or 1970, I'm not sure, and here we have the average size of human beings, 1 meter, 455 centimeters. But here the size is not the same. Height is 1 meter, 4 centimeters. The population is 21.3 billion people, which is what it was in 2001. So that was the data sent to us in the crop circle. The system depicted here had to be another solar system than our own. They are describing their own solar system's parameters. Therefore, this has to be a depiction of their solar system, their home, which I'm going to look at. They are compared to each other here. Here we have our solar system, we have the Sun, Mercury, Venus, and the Earth, and we have Earth on a separate line indicating that there is life here, and to show our location. We have 4 planets with a discrepancy of 1 and a 3rd planet that is on a separate line. So what would you conclude? We could conclude that that's where they come from, these people. This indicates quite a complex planetary system because they have 2 planets with almost the same orbit. And in this orbital area, we have 4 planets, 1 closer to this Sun and 1 further away, and 2 sharing a very similar orbital trajectory.
Une avec une orbite un petit peu intérieure et une autre avec une orbite extérieure et 2 avec à peu près la même trajectoire orbitale. Est-ce que ça vous rappelle pas quelque chose?
Does this remind you of anything? Look again. Here we have these 2 planets with such a similar trajectory, they are very similar to the 4 planets represented on the Crabwood Farm crop circle. And we can see this fairly well on the Crabwood Farm circle.
Les 4 planètes qui sont représentées sur l'agroglyphe de Crabwood Farm. Ça tombe bien parce que en plus Crabwood.
The third result is that the Chilbolton formation point on the Chilbolton Observatory. Fourth result, a detailed and argued assumption that those ETs are located 27 light years from Earth. Let's see the next topic. 18 ET species described in detail and the fascinating world of UMO. Let's go. What is the UMO Planet 5? Over the past 50 years, hundreds of texts, more than 1,400, have seriously been claimed by representatives of the extraterrestrial UMO people and have been disseminated all over the world. Hundreds of thousands of copies are in Spanish, French, English, and many other. They say we have sent 3,860 pages, including text, table, charts, and color graphs, to your brothers of various nationalities. Let's see that.
To ascertain information about the origins and purpose for these crop circles. This seems to be an entire program elaborated in the 60s and complexified over the years until 2007, when we found some very interesting information indeed. Denis, you've studied these documents more than anyone else in France and Europe. I'd like you to tell us what you've concluded comparing these hundreds of documents that we talk about in the book Presence. At first, I worked on the classification of the extraterrestrial races. What was very surprising was that I couldn't find any similar documents. So I told myself I'd make a small typology of the beings we observed through the sightings listed in these various working groups. And I couldn't find anything really convincing. But it turned out that the UMO documents contained references to other extraterrestrial races and civilizations. So, using what these UMO people informed us with, we were able to count 18 races. So I compared a number of UMO documents with all the information I'd gathered for the last few years, trying to compare the data, and I concluded I could indeed group the data into about 18 races, but I'm sure there's a lot more. So, we have a database of documents to talk about various races. It's interesting to see that races talk about other civilizations, and our Earth seems to be like a little meeting point or coffee shop. We have reference dates of when they arrived and when they left the planet, the folds in space that they used to come here. We have information about what they used to come here, how frequently they visited. We have the name of their planet, the name of the star around which their planet orbits, the solar system they came from. The text even mentions information about their population, the number of inhabitants on their planet, their physical characteristics such as their approximate size, ornithological elements of their size, of their limbs, physical characteristics, also where they're located, the mountains, the areas in probably every country of the world. Some of them are integrated in the very social fabric of human society. That's the case with UMO men. We have information about what their purpose is here, whether they're here to do, for example, ethnological studies.
My conclusion on sentient beings from outer space are: first result, 70% of all aliens have a large head and a body 30% of average human eye. Second result, after 100,000 years of visitation, we have never been invaded. This is the evidence of a Pax Galactica. Third result, all the sentient beings of the cosmos are bound by the same cosmos rule. Third topic, a new cosmological model that explains dark matter and many other phenomena. Let's see that. The first result is to consider that our cosmos has an anticosmos. Second result, the dark matter and energy are effects of the anticosmos. Third result, our pair of cosmos is inside a multicosmos. The fourth result, our Big Bang is one of an infinite number of Big Bangs. Fifth result, other cosmological entities exist. Fourth topic, the UFO mode of travel explained. The topology of our three-dimensional framework is inside 10 dimensions. Let's see that.
This is the chronology of the Big Bang. 0 dimensions, and then time appears, then another plane, and 3D. Then we have the configuration that is similar to the Euclidean model of space-time. So you see the strange shape of our conceptual typology here. Why is it in the shape of a horse saddle? Because, in fact, there is a negative bubble, areas on conceptual thought concerning the cosmoses that are limited. And so, typologically, we're not dealing with a positive curve that would give you a sphere. With our typology, there is a negative curve like a pancake. Imagine that this cosmology is going to change shape depending on our cosmological advances. When a typology develops which is suitably advanced, and we go through the electromagnetic field of the light paths, we're going to emerge from this pancake out of the tridimensional framework and go through another tridimensional framework. And it's going to give us a shortcut to a planet, let's say, 15 years from the Earth. You see right away that this is faster. It's a shorter path. Instead of 50 light years, I'm going to reduce the distance or time to maybe 3 light years, the distance between these 2 points. However, according to the UMO documents, we're in a 10-dimensional framework. So this folding, which enables us to take shortcuts, is in reality much more complex than a wave or a fold. It is likely much more like an accordion, so there are many folds. And you can see the light going through the pancake. So it has a long way to go. It takes a long time to get there, even supposing you've got the speed of light. But of course, we never go the speed of light. The idea is to go across the crests. Here is a phenomenon like a tunnel effect that enables a craft to go even faster, but here it would still take 6 to 9 months to travel between planets.
Let's see explanations about the behavior of standard spacecraft.
Equals dmc squared. This is what happens if we apply this here. If we apply this to a UFO spacecraft which goes through another tridimensional framework, it's going to rise in energy until it reaches a critical threshold, and then it will collapse dimensionally in a way, then it will restitute in energy as a mass, and then reconstitute. This is why we have strange disappearances of UFO spacecraft. When you observe a UFO that turns at a 90-degree angle, your eyes are deceiving you. Instead of doing a 90-degree angle and taking 300 Gs of centrifugal force, which would be impossible for any living being to survive, in reality what is happening is that the craft is changing its tridimensional framework. Instead of a visible right-angle trajectory, the craft goes through another tridimensional space, goes through a loop. and comes back out again in order to make this 90-degree angle. This is so the beings who are inside the craft are not subjected during this time gravitation to up to 300 Gs. However, the observer sees the angle and doesn't see that the UFO switched from our space-time to a kind of hollow inside the other space-time from which it emerges at high speed. Why? Because the craft makes a loop, and then it comes back out at a higher speed because it picks up speed because of the
Et plus il va en
anti-cosmos.
ressortir, et bien en fait il y aura un peu plus de vitesse en sortant, parce que justement il aura acquis de vitesse à cause de l'autre cosmos.
Fifth topic, the UMO documents and the evidence of the ET presence on Earth. The evidences are based on the fact that UMO documents contain data that was not known on Earth at the time of publication. You remember the first result, the identity of the makers of the crop cycle. We have some data in the UMO document. The second result, deciphering of the UMO language. Nobody did this for 50 years. Third result, the multi-cosmos model is formalized on Earth in 1998 and described in the UMO letter in 1960. Let's see other evidence. In 1977, they talked about Mars. In 1977, they said that there were unicellular organisms on Mars. In 1977, it was not possible to say such a thing. And we know that at least there were unicellular organisms on Mars because of the organic gas that had been produced by unicellular organisms. The organic gas proved that there were unicellular organisms on Mars. In 1976, we all believed that antibiotics were so wonderful. But in 1976, they talked about antibiotics. And they told us to be careful with antibiotics, because viruses can become resistant. However, in 1976, nobody cared about such problems. We have an alert 35 years before on this subject. Another document was about the genetic manipulation of stem cells. They say we can transform the nucleus of any tissue in various ways. That is to say that we can generate real atypical cells artificial, that means stem cells, acting on the chromosomes of the nucleus. It is possible to convert 1 or 1,000 of such cells into cells such as net cells, that is to say neurons, whose structure is totally different, and we just do such a thing in 2012, not in 1976. For memory, the phagenetic therapy clinical trial was conducted between March 1999 and May 2002 to replace the marrow in the case of a genetic blood disease. The icing on the cake was that the 1979 there is a document, an UMO document, announcing
that there is another planet beyond Pluto. And you remember that in 2003, our astronomers discovered a planet called Xena unknown Eris beyond Pluto. So, 25 years before the discovery of the planet Eris Xena, we have the information. To top it all, they gave the calculation of the average orbit of this planet with a very accurate calculation of 5%. This planet is in our solar system. However, its ecliptic is very difficult to calculate and detect. So we have the same calculation in the UMO document and the real distance we calculate ourselves. And those elements are known in the UMO document 25 years before its discovery.
Sixth topic, the extraterrestrial language of UMO, decoded. UMO ideograms have been written with phonetic and Latin letters. The deciphering of the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 are UO, IAS, UMO, ES. I did the deciphering in detail in Presence 2. Deciphering the words. Example, UEWA, that is vehicle. The structure of the word needs to decipher the word from the right to the left with a hierarchical order. Topic 7. The three-third theory model to understand paranormal phenomena. The three-third theory model makes us able to explain many standard paranormal and metaphysical phenomena in a rational view. With the three-third theory model, the links between cosmological entities make us getting predictive results. The three-third model explains how the metabrain drives the planet. In the three-third theory model, the planet's metabrain interferes with living beings through the information flow. One evidence of this theory, the global consciousness experience, is a subconscious telepathic link through the metabrain. Topic number 8. How telepathy works. Telepathy is a complex information flow between two sentient beings connected through the metabrain.
Topic number 9. What ghosts and poltergeists are.
The main principle of those phenomena is based on links with integrated soul in the metabrain that generate paranormal phenomena.
Topic number 10. Explanations for spirit communications.
The three-third theory also explains transcommunication experiences. There also are links with integrated soul in the metabrain, and they are also connected to sentient beings, which are able to produce biofrequencies that are the main reason why we have communication on electronic device. Sometimes the sentient being soul is trapped in the 10-dimension framework that can produce active ghosts. In conclusion, the three-third theory gives a rational model to explain metaphysic concepts and paranormal phenomena.
So this is why I wanted to express demands for a recognition of exocivilizations through a manifesto. So this manifesto for the recognition of exocivilizations, what is it based on? It's based on foundations we developed in France during the Revolution, which are basic human rights, the rights of man. The manifesto proposes to extend these rights to exocivilizations, to recognize an exchange with them, and a recognition of our own ways of functioning. For example, the Geneva Convention, the Convention of the UN, and of course, human rights for human being form that we can really ground our basic exchanges in such a way that will be fruitful and will enable us to have mutual recognition. This will guarantee both to the Earth civilization and other civilizations that there will be no interference from our leaders. One of the main humanitarian gestures we should all support as citizens should be to require or demand from our leaders the return of the bodies of the extraterrestrial people who died to their families. Because I believe it would be a great human gesture towards these courageous explorers that took a risk and made the effort to come and visit our foreign soil, most likely in an attempt to protect us against ourselves.
Thank you for your presence today.
Walking like a panther, your deep color captivates my brouhaha. In a concert of fragrances, played by Mozart and Baudelaire, voluptuously I hear your perfume. Dixina, E-I-K-I-E. Dixina, E-I-K-I-E. In my heart transported. Yes, I'm still loving you. Over there, far away from me, on our own planet, voluptuously, I hear your perfume. Dixina, E-I-K-I-E. Dixina, E-I-K-I-E. You fervently wished me luck on my mission on earth. We are God. I was 29. I was 29. I remember exactly the scented steam baths, our bodies immersed in the mist caressing. Fragrance saturates the room. Voluptuously, I